What's going on, guys? So now we have the double faction week. So I'm going to give you like a quick guide on this. So I have some Kurzick factions saved up and I still need to max out my title. So you just go right over here. You basically just raise your alliance reputation. And the other thing that I'd recommend is to do the Kurzick skills, because you actually get the same amount of like profit for your return using the Kurzick skills. So I just get that on all my characters first, and then I would do this. But I have the skills on all my characters, so I just do this right here and just donate faction. So basically you donate 5,000 and that equal 10,000, but since it's double week, you get 20,000. And with the skills, you basically donate 3,000 and then you pay 3,000 for the skills, then you get 6,000 in return, which I'll show you like right down here. So yeah, 5,000, 10,000 for donating, and then everything else, it's just like 5,000, 5,000, 1,000, 1,000. And then if the skills, 3,000, 6,000. So it doubles what you put in. And since it's double week, it'll double that double. So it'll get 12,000 for that. So I put that as the highest priority because I'm kind of selfish. And then I put donating faction to the guild as like the next priority. So yeah, there you go. And how to actually get the faction is we come right over here. And what I like to do is I like to pick up the Z Vanquishes. So I got a couple right here for Kurzick faction, Jurassic Thicket and Melandra's Hope. So Jurassic Thicket is really the main one for basically Kurzicks, and then Melandra's Hope's just some like random one. But I went to Eternal Grove and started there because I need to get the priest for the Kurzick faction, whereas if I did it at the other two places, since they're owned by Luxons, they'd be Lux and Priest. And also there's a lot of like elite skills in this area, so you can bring like Significant Capture if you wanted to. And here's the builds for the heroes. I'll also leave a link in the description down below for the builds and the build that I'm using, of course. So yeah, there we go. And we're going to just hop right out here. So yeah, make sure you have 100 gold so you can actually go to the priest and get the blessing. Because this is what's going to give you the faction, or a lot of it. And also bring lockpicks if you want to open up the chests and everything. So we're going to just like run right through here. I'll speed it up quite a bit. So we just take everything out. Like, it's not really that hard of a farm, but if your heroes suck, it's going to take like longer. If your heroes are better, it's probably going to take less time. And if you know the area better, you'll probably be able to do it a bit faster and everything. Which, I'll show you the place to vanquish if you're on the Luxon side. And it's actually a little easier for Luxons because they have like a better place that you can actually vanquish. Because this area is like a little harder. And it's like a little harder to get through and everything. And the Luxon one's a bit easier. And also faster. And also, like, what I do, like where I showed you of saving up the Z Vanquishes, I think that's also a good way to do it also. Because that's an additional 7,000 factions that I'm going to get from this. Or I could save it and wait for like double week. And then just cash in that faction like next time there's a double week for faction. And so that way I can get the Z coins and get the faction and everything and really, maximize the rewards, so to speak. So yeah, just go through here. It's like relatively easy. Not too difficult at all. And also this week, I'll also show it to you like later on in the video, but Jurassic Thicket is actually going to be available, like I believe it's tomorrow, but basically Jurassic Thicket and Ferndale are going to be available during this week right here for double faction. I don't think there's anything for Luxon faction, but that's pretty good if you're a Kurzick and you're trying to max out your title of Kurzick faction. There's also like a decent amount of locked chests through here, so that's always nice. And if you're a ritualist, there's actually 2 elite ritualist skills in this area. So if you're like a Kurzick and you're a ritualist, you can actually vanquish some of these areas and actually capture like Significant Spirits and other elite ritualist skills. Like, it's pretty good for that. It's always fun to play with 2 elite skills whenever you're vanquishing. And these are actually the 2 elite ritualists in this area. They're together, which is always nice. And yeah, this vanquish is like almost over. I just have to run to like the other side of the map to basically finish everything up. And the cool thing about doing the vanquish is that like if there's an area where you don't have like one of the towns and you end up like running across it, Like once you're done vanquishing, you can just go to that town and go through it and then basically discover that town. And that way you don't have to like go back out here and like kill all the mobs and shit in order to actually do it again. You can just do it like after killing everything and basically get a town like easily for free, which is what I'm going to do, because it turns out there's actually one town that I didn't have, because I seem to always be missing like one town on like one of my characters. And going to just finish off the last couple mobs. And also Warden Horns, like I actually at first thought that they were like a nick item, but it turns out that they're not. So you don't really need to save them or anything. But yeah, there we go. Didn't really take too long at all. Took 26 minutes. And I actually got like a pretty good rune for the Mesmer. And yeah, that's it. Got a good amount of Kurzick faction from that. And then also with the quest, that's an additional 7,000 Kurzick faction if I end up accepting the reward for it. You know, so it'll help me max out the title even quicker. And with my heroes, I actually didn't have like wands on them. So they kind of, they'd probably be better if I actually had like wands on them. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and run up here because I'm actually missing the town up here. So yeah, just go right up here. Get this new town that I don't have. This is always another perk of vanquishing. And also, if you're going for like Guam or anything, or something like that, you can basically also like run around the corners and get that extra cartographer in. So there we go. Got a town also, got vanquish in, got a bunch of faction. It's all nice and good. And this is basically where we're going to vanquish if we're going to actually do it on the Luxon side. So go to Breaker Hollow or Aspianwood Gate and go to Mount Quincai, or however you pronounce it. And you just go outside and just vanquish it like normal and go to the priest and everything. It's basically just the same thing as I showed you before. You should get around the same amount of faction I got for doing Draza Thicket. And yeah, you know, it's pretty easy. And here, I'm going to go ahead and show you. So you get the faction support, and then you go over here to other days, and you're going to actually have a couple options available to you. You're going to have Draza Thicket, and then you're also going to have Ferndale, which is for Kurzick. So it's actually a good week for Kurzick faction, because you can do these on all your characters if you really want to. And Draza Thicket is pretty much the main one. So that's always nice. But otherwise, Dungeon is signing out.